Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, episode 80 goddamn 9.
Woo!
How's that for something?
89?
Yeah.
I don't know, it's another number.
Yeah, it's just, holy shit. So far this thing hasn't fallen to pieces. I'm impressed.
Listen, when we get to 100, you can be more impressed.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I was impressed when we hit 20, so.
You guys came back for episode 2?
I'm surprised we bothered to re-record the pilot episode.
That's, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
really.
I was like, we fucked it, never mind.
Yeah,
that's a sign from God. This week, we will be looking at Captain's Holiday and
Porn.
Tin Man.
Oh.
In Captain's Holiday, Picard is basically pressured by his entire crew to take a vacation on Risa. He's really not enjoying himself
I just want to party on the bridge.
Yeah, until a Ferengi shows up in his natural form as Peter Lorre in a noir film.
I don't get it.
He's very we'll get to it. And then some lady...
See, I thought you meant because... No, go on.
And then this lady who harangued him in the lobby earlier is like, "Hi, I'm looking for stuff." And Picard's
harangued with her mouth.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that what you would call that? You think a deep mouth tonguing is haranguing?
Mouth tonguing. You make it sound so lovely.
Don't want it, it's haranguing.
It's sexual assault.
Excuse me.
That's true.
Also, I think he wanted it. He was dressed like he wanted it.
Those shorts were very distracting.
He always dresses like that in his off hours.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, I did my best to not look at his crotch.
Did you see the fucking
no.
How
when he was
did
on
I
the
miss the
lounger?
bulge? Does he... Where does he dress left or right? It's very important for our readers.
Left.
Damn it, I missed it.
Hard left.
I'm
Took a sharp left.
Okay, we'll discuss the costuming later.
He dresses
I just
starboard.
had a great idea, though, and I don't want to lose it, so I'm going to say it now. You can cut it out.
Okay.
So, there's a scene where he's lying on this, lounger, and he's got, a massive camel toe going.
Oh, no.
That's the seam of
Why
the
does
shorts.
that exist?
Well, but when... That's all a camel toe is the seam of the shorts.
No,
and
it's the angle.
And it goes in, and then the skin forms around.
Yeah, all pants go in. That's because you have 2 fucking legs.
Whatever. Point is...
I don't have 2 legs solely so that I can have camel toe. I don't know what the fuck is happening here.
I don't think... I mean, it was so pronounced. I'm going to coin a new phrase and call it a monkey's knuckle.
That's not a new phrase.
It's actually... It's moose knuckle, but it's the same thing.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
Moose?
Moose knuckle.
Stupid.
That's what they call...
Well, monkey's knuckle is better because I'll be a monkey's knuckle.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Chris
yes,
really
when he
wants to
first-
finish the synopsis.
So when he first gets to the planet, Picard is assaulted by a woman who's trying to have a Ferengi not notice her. He then harangues Picard, being, "I know you're working with her," and it's Rom, which is weird.
Yeah. Worse makeup.
And eventually, she's all like, "I'm looking for this thing," and he worked with the professor that I worked with to look for the thing. And also there's some time travelers who are like, "We're from the 27th century, and history shows that you find the thing, Picard." And Picard's all, "But what's this fucking thing?" And they're like, "Basically, it can turn off a star." And he's like, "Oh, shit."
That seems bad.
So then, Picard and this lady are like, "All right, let's go look for this crazy artifact," and they fuck. Under the stars. It's very romantic.
Under the stars? I thought they were in a cave or some shit.
I don't know.
Oh, good. Caitlin's looking for the bulge.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the bulge.
And then they...
Was it in these pants or in the...
They're
those-
bright silver pants.
the Speedo.
pants.
Yeah.
Talking about the Speedo? All right.
And
He's
then they...
trying to read his book.
Yes.
Sorry.
And then
With
they
his
get...
dick.
For the love of
I'm
God...
sorry, I didn't mean to. I really didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
And then they get to the final area, and they go digging for it, and it's not there, and the Ferengi follows them, and he's all like, "But it's got to be there!" And the time travelers are like, "This is weird." And then they all leave, and do, and Picard and the lady head back, and the lady's all like, "Oh, 5 years, how sad, I want to be alone." And Picard's like, "Alright." But Picard is nobody's fool. And as she's leaving, he's all like, "Fancy meeting you here." He's like, "Oh yeah, just coming to say goodbye." And he's like, "Yeah, you're clearly a femme fatale, so I can't trust you." And she's like, Yes, you're right, Picard. I actually already found it, and this was all just some big ruse, so the Rom would see me not find it." And she pops open the head of a sex statue, and there it is, somebody's desk toy.
I believe it's called a horgong.
Yes, a horgong, or something. And then the time travelers just show up, and they're like, "Oh good, please give us the horgong." I mean, the... fuck. This star switch, and Picard, is like, well, you do have proof that you're actually security people, right? And the lady is all, the legends say it was stolen by a man and a woman, and he's all, And he has O'Brien explode it with the transporter. The end.
Can you do?
Then in Tin Man, the Enterprise is doing some boring star mapping when Starfleet sends the USS Hood to be all like, new orders and a crazy guide.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just send this by wire? We didn't want the Romulans to catch on.
That too, yes. We're afraid of the Romulans again. The crazy guy
They're
is
back.
Tam Elbrun. He is a Beta Z first contact expert. He's also unique in that Beta Z, we find out in this episode, are kind of like X-Men in that their powers don't turn on until they're older, but they just all have the same power.
Betazoid.
Right.
Beta Z is the
Planet, right. But
excuse me, I believe that Beta Z is the planet.
but
I think it's
occasionally
actually Beta Z.
but occasionally
English people would call it Beta Z.
Maybe it's actually meant to be pronounced Betas.
I betazed.
I betazed. Yeah, there you go, betazed. That's actually, I believe it's pronounced betazed.
So Tam is one of, I guess one in every many births, they're born with their powers activated. And therefore, they're born inundated with other people's thoughts and emotions before they can fully even understand what's happening, and they end up sort of nuts because of it. And
Wah wah.
he's
Womp
doubly
womp. Oh.
doubly stressed out because his most recent sort of first contact went horribly wrong, and people blame him for it, even though the panel of inquiry was like, yeah, no, it was definitely the other person's fault, but Riker's a bitch about it for some reason.
His friends died.
He had friends from the
47
academy.
people died.
Yeah, but I mean, the court
Because
of,
they didn't do the handshake right.
the
or
court of
something.
inquiry basically said, yeah, Starfleet fucked up, and Riker's unwilling to admit that because he's a shit.
This is why they
Yeah.
gotta stop having fucking captains do this when there's trained professionals.
Yeah, and Picard is a little leery of him because he does seem a little unbalanced.
Well, and also, because Troy's like, oh, I met him when I was in psych school. Oh, was he one of your colleagues? No, he was a patient,
Yeah.
So that's like bump, bump, bump.
Who's giving her patience in psych school?
I don't
Who's
know.
giving her patience now? She sucks.
I personally am out of patience for her.
Give
to be
it to
honest.
Guinan, she'd handle it.
Tam does get on very well, however, with Data, because being an android, there's nothing for him to read, and he can just get to know him normally by talking to him and not reading all of his thoughts. The new mission, meanwhile, is to try to make contact with what has been codenamed Tin Man, a seemingly alive starship that's tooling around this star that's about to go supernova any minute. It's in an area of space claimed by the Romulans, although apparently the Federation doesn't recognize this claim because they are very happy to just send the Enterprise in.
I was under the impression they didn't know. That Romulans just said, ours, and didn't tell anybody.
Well, yeah, because they were kind of like, yeah, they're claiming it, and Worf is like, yeah, but the Romulans claim everything they see.
Yeah, exactly. So
it might have just been neutral.
So
Everything the sun touches.
yeah, so I mean,
belongs to
clearly,
the Romulans.
there are clearly some claims the Federation is like, yes, that actually is yours. This isn't one of them. So they send the Enterprise because it's the fastest ship in the fleet, and there are some other Romulan ships, but they're supposed to be slower. But they throw extra energy into the engines on one of them just to try to beat them there.
Which is cool, because that's, to me, is like a harkening back to Journey to Babel, because that was sort of the thing with that, is like the Orion is like using the ship at full power because they never intended to go back with it.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Anyway.
So they get there. Tin Man blows up the Romulans. After a lot of debate, they
What does that say?
agree to beam Data and Tam over. And Tam's all like, I'm going to live with Tin Man now because we're good psychic friends.
I'm going to sign his lease, move in as his roommate.
Yeah.
Wait, but doesn't he mean like we're going to go die together? Because
No,
We'll get to that.
Well, yeah. But anyway, and then the Tin Man, rather than exploding the Enterprise and the second Romulan ship, just shoves them far away. The star explodes.
a la Q that time when they meet the Borg.
Yeah.
By mistake.
Yeah, or...
Like, I bet they recycled the animation or whatever for it as well. Cause
or it could
definitely
be from...
that
with also that
shit.
episode with the...
For children.
Yeah, where they were kidnapping their kids because they couldn't breed anymore. And yeah, and Data has a moment with Troy, which is a little weird. And
Yeah, like, why was she like...
All moments with Troy are a little weird.
Yeah, I didn't really understand the... Yeah. Okay, we'll get to it.
So yeah, Captain's Holiday.
Horgon.
Yeah, so why is it called a Horgong? Like,
It's
I just...
Horgon. It's not Gong.
Oh.
So it is Horbigon.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't work very well.
But this is...
It must have been opposite day.
This really was like Captain Picard's ideal vacation, even though he didn't know it going in. Because, it's a little bit Maltese Falcon. It's a little bit Indiana Jones. It's like all of his favorite things, but for real.
Plus,
And
and also
also
with that
sex.
Speedo.
Yeah.
And that horrible
Dude,
Speedo.
and holy shit, I found the pictures. So the
Don't
Speedo,
put them online. I'm uncomfortable
I
with
know,
that.
I am not.
I'll tell you where they are, readers. Just get in touch. Wicked bulge of the Speedo, and even in the looser brown trousers that he wears for fucking spelunking adventures.
Spelunking adventures.
Big fucking dick.
Oing, 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 oing.
So,
how much do you think
That's what Vash
Riker spent setting this whole thing up with the fake people from the future and the second lady?
okay, I was also thinking that, like, that felt like a feasible thing. Like it felt like it could have been total bullshit.
The whole episode long, whenever they show Riker and when they say, "Oh, Picard's going on vacation," Riker's just so fucking glad at the thought of Picard getting some.
Yeah, it's
Riker's
weird.
like, I'm sending Picard on the LARP of his life.
Well, that's why he was like, buy the Horgong. I'll need it when you get back. But I was thinking that. It almost felt like it could have been like our shore leave planet, but without the malfunctioning murder bots.
It's almost too perfect for Picard. He
Yeah,
beams down, and immediately an attractive woman
Thirsty.
starts making out with him, who also happens to be an archaeological enthusiast.
And looks great in that bikini.
And he gets to get into a fight with a Ferengi who he hates.
Oh, that was the best part too. Is like when he takes the gun,
And then that stupid gun toss so we can punch him in the face.
Well, that is though. Again, that's like very like old mystery movie. Like he just gets to be like bare knuckle like clock in the head. Like yeah, it's very he got to be fucking
Indiana
Dixon
Hill,
Yeah,
but without having to be on the holodeck and having it malfunction.
he had
More like-
he had Dixon Vash.
more like
Yikes.
more like Dixon Enormous.
Yeah,
nice.
Patrick Stewart specifically was asking for more adventures of fighting and fornicating.
And tighter pants.
He's like,
So
Kirk got
such
to do it.
pants.
I want to do it too.
I have this big cock, and I'm not
But
wearing pants to show
I
it
could
off.
totally see another draft having been of this episode where it was a setup.
Like Shore Leave Planet.
Yeah.
Well, and it still might have been.
It's
we don't
true.
know.
We don't.
Because the Horgong was definitely a setup. Horgon, sorry. Was definitely a setup. And Riker definitely was like, oh yeah, I know this great place. You're going to love it. But it makes me wonder, like, what Riker's Pleasure Island trip would look like. You know what I mean?
I mean, he wouldn't leave his hotel room.
Yeah.
Like,
He would
well,
just
he would.
plow-
I'm sorry.
With
He would just
with
plow
the
his way through
the
every woman
glorious
on the place.
80s ceiling fan.
Oh yeah.
He
That
wouldn't
was
need the pants.
The most distracting thing about this episode to me was the ceiling fan in Picard's goddamn quarters.
When they reused that set later, they cut the fan for another
Wait,
episode.
specifically cut the fan?
They specifically removed the
So
fan.
somebody at Star Trek headquarters was watching that being like, that fucking fan!
Was it you?
Probably.
Did you go back in
If I
time?
was,
Did you time travel? And you were
8 at the
like...
time or
If you were one of
something.
the Forgons, you'd go
Yeah,
in
you
and
were
say,
a
get the fuck
Forgon."
rid of this.
Yeah.
This is not historically accurate.
It is foretold that this fan will be distracting.
But
You know, Riker would beam down, buy himself a Horgong, staple it to his door, and then just not leave his hotel room for the whole week.
He just put it like a little mistletoe right above Little Riker.
Well, no, that would be he'd actually just get like a temporary tattoo of a Horgong.
Temporary.
Right above it. That's true.
So the Horgong is basically a little totem that says, I'm DTF.
Yeah,
That's
that's the
essentially
impression I'm under.
Sounds
He
right.
got solicited by several women before.
I think he said she was the fifth, the
Yeah.
one we actually see him talking to.
Yep. So that's cool. That's nice. I mean, nothing wrong with that. Okay, how
Oh!
go.
One quick unimportant thing. We did see an Andorian
Yes.
Yeah, and he
from
was blue.
behind.
And
It was
was
blue,
blue.
but it did still have the stupid enormous head.
And that's because
Yeah.
you got to attach the antennae somehow.
Well, they did it in TOS without an enormous head.
You just glue fake fur to a motorcycle helmet. And
Pretty
But
much.
that's the thing, you don't even need to do that. I mean, when you just need to find a way to put the Deedly Bops into the wig. That's all. It doesn't
or
have
just
to be
have
a-
like one of those things like people wear at New Year's that have the
Deedly
the
Bob.
Deedly Bops.
but
Yeah.
it's just like
it's like a
just like
headband.
yeah, it's like a headband.
Yeah.
Probably what it was.
Yeah, it's stupid. I don't know why they did this motorcycle head thing. I don't
Yeah,
like
it's
it.
weird.
I don't like it one bit.
I
But I
don't-
do like seeing Andorians because I
They're
love
nice. They're
Andorians.
nice. Did you see the banana Vulcan? There was a bright yellow
That-
Vulcan.
So that was supposed
No,
to
I
be a
missed it.
Vulcan?
I don't know.
I could only
It
assume
looked
it was
Vulcan-y.
another fucking race because Vulcans are not fucking
Oh.
screaming yellow.
Yeah, the only Vulcan I saw
Which is
wasn't
the color of
bright
my
yellow.
car.
There was one that was seen. It looked like a Vulcan, but it was kind of in the background and out of focus. But the hair was right.
Right.
But the skin was
Bright yellow.
bright yellow, like school
Maybe
bus.
maybe it was a Remulan.
Maybe when they're in the sun too long. Oh wait,
Oh.
no, there's so much sun on Vulcan, so
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
not. Supposedly there was also an Antikin in the background, but I didn't spot him.
Actually, though,
They were those mongoose people from...
Oh, I did. I was about to
You
say I
did?
saw one of the
Aw.
dog monsters from 4, but that's there's definitely
From what?
4.
Not 4?
yeah.
The Antikins?
From Voyager.
Oh, the anti. Okay, you see, there's a slightly similar looking race in Star Trek 4 at like Kirk's trial
Ah.
at the very end.
I was gonna say about Vulcans, maybe they do get yellow in the sun. We just don't know because we've only seen the rich people. We've only seen the people who are not working class Vulcans.
Well, this is somebody who's on vacation on Risa.
Right,
Risa?
right.
Risa.
But they've probably been in the sun.
It's true.
So even if they normally don't,
Maybe if they don't go in the sun.
Well, but Spock's never in the sun, so
that's true, and he's not yellow.
that's true.
He's
I,
not
maybe
human.
it's-
I don't know.
maybe they just have a liver
I
disease or something.
I
I don't
just
know.
assume it's
Well, it also
maybe
could-
another hybrid. Vulcan something else.
Well, it could also just be any type of like
Vulcan banana.
different race. I mean, presumably there are
Countless.
white Vulcans and black Vulcans and brown Vulcans.
And yellow
maybe.
ones.
But it could be, right? I mean,
Well, we do eventually see black Vulcans, but no, we.
That's why there was a green Andorian once.
No.
yeah, I mean, honestly, that's possible. Maybe they just come in all the colors of the rainbow.
Could be.
Vulcans tend to come in the same shades as humans.
Well, all right, then I'm going to assume it was a Remulan. The never spoken of Remulan. Well, because if you have Romulus, you have to have Remus.
They do.
We do see Remans.
Stop! Do we really?
Yeah.
They do. And
I'm
they,
so
but they
excited!
Don't look like, they don't look like that.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
well then, fuck them. They did it wrong.
So I'd say that this. What was Rom's name in this? Actually, I know it wasn't Rom. For those who are confused,
What the heck is it?
the guy that played the Ferengi in this will later appear. Sovak will later appear in Deep Space Nine as a recurring Ferengi named Rom, which is why I keep calling him that.
Rodenchick, I believe.
Yeah.
Rodenchick?
His eyes were really small in this
I
episode.
lo- I
He's
love
Sounds
very
good makeup.
squinty.
I liked his voice better. The voice of Rom just makes me want to punch
Rom
him.
is intended to be like a dopey guy.
Yeah, so they give him
Yeah.
like dopey guy voice.
I feel like... Wait, so what... So may I ask, what... What was
brother, Woogie.
That's my Rom impression.
Pretty accurate.
Yikes.
Good.
What were you saying?
So he talks.
Oh, well, I can't fucking wait for that. What was the guy's name?
Max Grodenchik.
Sovak.
Grodenchick? So, why was he doing stereotypical Asian voice?
These are Ferengi.
Yeah, but that
See,
was...
I didn't get that.
Oh,
I didn't get that
I
either.
did. I was like,
Really?
when you said Peter Lorre earlier, I was thinking like, you mean in that he sounds like he's doing a bad
I think he was just doing
Chinese
like...
American
I think
impression?
he was just talking through those horrible fake teeth.
And I think
I
he was
don't know.
doing
It
doing
sounded-
Ferengi because the Ferengi have so far always had sort of a
Yeah, but
weird-
this one struck
voice.
me as really, really, really weird. Like a really stereotypical
I
accent.
don't know. I think I was just so happy to see Max Grodenchick not doing the sounds like he got kicked in the head by a donkey as a young child voice.
Jesus. But yeah, this Sovak, aside from having what seems like a Vulcan name, strikes me as sort of
Yeah, that's an odd choice.
they figured out what they're doing with the Ferengi because I feel like he's more what I expect a Ferengi to be.
a bumbling fool.
But also
we
like
had the ones
he's
from the one where Troy got laid. What the fuck episode was that?
oh
The Troy getting laid episode and the Ferengi barge in. They were
Yeah.
on the same
with the
track.
wormhole.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is very much like this is because again I mostly know them from Deep Space Nine. This feels very much like he's a civilian, but he's also up to scheming and stuff. I'm just like, yeah, no, this is what the Ferengi were meant to be, a race of Peter Lorres, because Peter Lorre usually plays a kind of he
creepy whistling child rapist?
aside from that, he normally plays, just sort of scheming, kind of slightly incompetent.
ingratiating to the main characters.
Yeah. Yeah, like clearly what they were doing with this was like,
Really
all right, we're
bad
doing
Peter
a film
Lorre
noir
impression.
thing. We want to have a Peter Lorre-esque character that seems right for a Ferengi, and that sort of ends up getting stamped on them, which works because again, that's sort of what I'm used to them being. You can never fully trust a Ferengi.
Well, and I also love that he was then kind of like wanted to bone that woman because she was like better
Oh,
at his
yeah.
own game than he was. It's
Yeah.
just like, ooh. But she wears clothes. It's unseemly. Please stay away from her.
That hasn't been established yet.
I loved his fucking Hawaiian shirt. Like, are you kidding me?
I love
like,
that-
It's so weird to see like surfer boy Ferengi, like surfing USA Sovak.
Well,
What's his name?
Yeah.
in his little like
Sounds too
head,
much like Slovak or
True.
something.
Sounds like a Vulcan name too.
That's what I said.
Oh.
But
If you're
did
paying
you notice though
attention. I
his
don't pay
little
attention.
the little like
Who does?
lampshade he wore on the back of his head also had like similar colors. Like it was coordinated.
Well, yeah,
Nice.
you gotta coordinate your outfit.
They're
Yeah.
very fashionable people.
They are.
Ferengi. Yeah.
Yeah, they got their little head shades.
Have you seen Quark's outfits? You're
No, I haven't
gonna
seen-
love
So
Quark's outfits.
dashing.
Yeah.
Are you being sarcastic?
No,
No.
I love Quark.
Okay, so but he doesn't look like a fucking
Quark
doesn't
basically only wears your grandmother's seat cushions.
But he
I
pulls it
actually-
off like, whoa.
Here's the thing, I am looking forward to that because it sounds like he and I dress at the shop at the same stores.
Yeah, the curtain shop.
Oh, so also where Fräulein Maria shops then.
Yeah.
Then we've got Vash, or as I thought of her by the end of this first draft, River Song.
Yeah, I could see that.
Who?
So this is, sorry.
Character from Doctor Who.
Yeah, she's officially an archaeologist, but she's also kind of an adventurer and not always on the right side of legality and sort of thing.
And definitely shows up too fucking much.
Yeah, I don't think Vash does.
She only shows up a couple more times.
Yeah, I think
Vash shows up more though, I'm so excited. I liked her
I
a
think
lot.
we get her one more time in TNG, and then we get her once in DS9.
I like her.
Oh yeah, no, I thought her and
Patrick Stewart.
together were
Jean-Luc.
great. I was just so amused by him. Like,
I think she's out of his league.
that's fair.
Really? You think she's out of his league? Interesting.
I mean, if you don't count the bulge.
Ames, it's the only thing I count.
But in this episode, you are just like, damn it, Picard, why are you a captain? You seem to enjoy this bullshit more.
I mean, we'll talk.
I don't think
that's
Picard-
Because
about
he
the
can
future.
play on the holodeck all day if he
Yeah,
wants.
Picard doesn't do things because he enjoys them. He does things because he's good at them.
That's fair.
And he's not very good at this archaeology thing, considering she had the thing the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, which is another thing. So let's talk about these quote-unquote aliens from the
The
future.
Vorgons.
Wow, their makeup was shit.
Their makeup was pretty bad.
I like the colors. The colors.
The
Colors are good.
I thought the makeup was done well. I just personally, I don't know, something about their design. I didn't like the weird scales in their head.
hologram.
Were they meant to look
head.
like fish?
Yeah, maybe.
I could see them being kind of fishy.
So the other thing about them, so they come. They're like, Picard, you're going to find this artifact. We know because we read your novel. I don't know.
Oh,
We read about it in
doesn't
the
this wind up
histories.
being a grandfather paradox
Exactly.
or whatever? Because
Would he have even gone on this stupid adventure? Because I
he
don't think
goes because they come and tell him that he's going to go, right? Sort
pretty
of.
much. Like, I feel like he wouldn't have followed up on this whole Vash thing if it weren't for that.
I think he would have followed up with the Vash thing, but he wouldn't have planned to give it to the Vorgons.
Or destroy it, as the case might be. He might have just been on the ride, you know.
So
yeah. He
couldn't
would
they?
definitely go on an archaeology adventure.
So
That's
the
totally not his
Vorgons,
makeup.
They fucking showed their hand. Why don't they just come
And observe.
or hide until he finds the thing naturally, as they know he already will,
And then
then steal
have
it
a
from
gun
him.
and be like, give
Yeah.
it to us now.
But he didn't find it. Vash did.
Well, yes. Exactly. So, yeah, they even showed up. They're like, you're going to find it. No, he wouldn't have, because if they didn't tell him he was going to find it, he never would have found it.
No, that's true.
Yeah, you do have to wonder where the record comes from exactly.
Like, and the only reason I
Picard's
think...
personal diary.
So-
I found a toy today.
No, so that's the thing though. He knows it needs to work out that way when he makes his personal log or something about his vacation. He purposely leaves out
that's an
pertinent
idea.
details. He plays them. Because he knows if he records in
that's-
his log that she actually found it first, they would have known that instead.
But that's still...
Oh, it's still a
paradox.
grandfather paradox, yeah. No, there's grandfather paradox all over the place.
And, like, the other thing, if they hadn't...
this thing has grandfather paradox written all over it. Sorry, Jake.
I don't think he would have...
Vash
I don't
is
think
his
he would have
grandfather?
suspected that Vash already had it, even.
no, but I'm assuming he made
Because
the personal log after the fact.
Oh, yeah, I understand. So, I don't know. I think the whole thing is bullshit.
Yeah. So
Well,
I think this whole thing was a setup by Riker.
I was
I
confused.
kind of agree,
by
honestly.
the ending. The ending when Picard says, "Well, I wonder when they come back again to try again.
Yeah,
if
that
we'll meet
doesn't
each
work.
other that time as well." And I'm
Yeah,
just like,
you mean we're going to live
what?
this over and over again?
But
Like,
time
no, it
already
doesn't
happened
work that
for you.
way.
Your time is linear, and it happened.
Yeah, no, that doesn't
Yeah,
work
no,
that way.
that's definitely...
But that's like romantic
Yeah.
cuteness. I don't really think he meant literally.
Yeah,
I think that he was just
supposedly-
being cute.
There was in the original script, there was the final scene would have been the Vorgons coming back again, and they cut it because it was even more confusing as them doing their next attempt at getting the talks Uthat.
Well, that's the other big problem with any time travel bullshit, because the people from the future can just try again if they
Yeah.
fuck it up.
Yeah, and only the last time they do it is the one that counts.
That's why,
But
you know
don't
a
they
movie
risk-
I really like?
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
No. Well, that's fine.
Bogus Journey?
No, that's also fine.
Born 30?
The one with
Time
Ashton
travelers
Kutcher.
were-
Ashton Kutcher time travel movie.
Butterfly Effect.
Butterfly Effect.
Oh, is that about time travel?
Hot Tub
I've never seen
Time
it.
Machine?
It's like schlocky. It's like not early 2000s, but it's actually a pretty halfway decent time travel movie in that the whole premise of it is that he goes back to points in his own timeline and
he fucks up little things. So
and he
it
like
causes the
changes like he's
effects.
like I can't remember any of the things that he did, but for example, my friend lost a nut, so I'll prevent him from going
That's
on
not a tiny thing.
prevent him from going on that
I don't
horse
know.
riding
Some of
trip.
them are tiny.
And then it turns out that his balls are poison in the future or something. I don't
Wow,
know.
that's
Oh, how does he discover this? I don't want to know.
first time he gets a blowjob.
But yeah, it's like basically every time he tries to change something little to
DOA.
make it better, it ends up making the future worse for everybody.
Back to the Future 2?
No, that was Biff.
And he did succeed in making the future better for himself.
Star Trek.
I like how Picard obviously listened to Vash's mixtape.
I know, yeah. I thought that was funny.
I wanted Vash to come in and Picard says, "Oh, I listened to your mixtape. I too like big butts and cannot lie."
Wait, listen to her mixtape?
Because
Yeah.
she gives him a little
The
CD.
disc.
She slips it
Oh!
in a mixtape in his pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought her ruse was kind of clever, though. This whole thing was just a setup so that Sovak would leave her alone.
Yeah. So she wanted to get the Tox Uthat and bring it back to the Daystrom Institute,
Well, allegedly.
which seems like a terrible
Well,
idea.
that's right, because she's going to sell it to them, right? She
Yeah.
said.
Was she going to sell it or just going to...
Well, she said she was going to donate it to science, but she's
I
actually
think she was going to give it to Dr. Soren. That'll make more sense later.
But yeah, like, she was going to try to get them to give her something.
I mean, no
for
matter
it.
what, like, this thing is a gigantic weapon. It's like, if you had the fucking slaver weapon from TAS, like, that thing is safe in no one's hands.
No.
Even if you're a person who would never use it, you can give it to the space Quaker we met, said, here's a weapon, to keep it safe.
No, somebody would
Something
come for
would
it.
go wrong.
Now, that's the thing that I
River
was-
Song would actually turn
Well,
up
actually,
and steal it.
I would.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no, right? Because what do they say? They said it stops all fusion in a star, right? That's the idea. Is that so? It basically turns off a star.
Yeah.
I could see that coming in handy. For example,
if like a star was going nova.
if a star was going to go nova, and it's like, oh well, the resulting explosion is going to wipe out all
Say
these
Romulus.
Well,
all
yeah,
of these
but-
civilizations.
But conversely, if someone
Toss this
turned
in
off
there.
our star, we'd all die.
well, yeah, exactly. It's like the Genesis device. It could be used for good. It could be used for evil.
Well, yeah, and look what happens when the Genesis device falls in the wrong hands.
You wind up with Star Trek 3.
Nah.
Now, that's the thing I was unclear
Pile
on,
of
though.
shit.
Used only for evil.
Did the people in the present know what the Toxu thought was? Because I was under the impression that until the people from the future they knew it existed.
Right.
But I was under the impression, I felt like when they told Picard, like, oh yeah, I could turn off a star, that was news to him, which, like...
I feel
Well, it's
like...
because the Daystrom Institute hadn't done their research
I
yet.
feel like they must have known something, because otherwise why would they be...
Well, like-
Well, they know that it's a legendary artifact from the future.
Right, but they don't necessarily know exactly what it does.
It could just be like a food processor or something.
Yeah, like... Yeah.
Oh, it Julien's fries.
Yes,
Yay.
it
probably also does that.
It could have been a crystallized chunk of space whale poop, for all they knew.
Ooh,
But
space
from the
whales.
future.
Well,
But then that would be great, because then you can look through its poop like your sister would do.
Yeah.
Your sister?
Yes.
Yes. And see what space whales eat in the future. And that's actually probably really scientific improvement stuff.
Probably, yeah.
Those
No.
are all words.
I feel
Yeah.
like you have this weapon of unimaginable destructive power.
Unobtainium?
Probably
They find it in Iraq.
throwing it on the ground
yeah.
and letting it explode is not the best way. And especially when you know nothing about it. Because
True.
we don't really know what the mechanism of maybe it sends out waves of stinky poo, and that anybody that smells it can never get the smell out of their nose, and they will be smelling stinky poo for the rest of their life. He didn't know that.
Nah, it's a risk you have to take.
I don't do anything without checking if it smells like stinky poo.
Yeah, the way to activate it, as we learned in the Paradise Syndrome, I think, is you use your communicator and say, Kirk to Enterprise, 3 to beam up, and it turns on.
Also, activate Order 14. Was that what it was? Just General Order 14?
Transporter Order 14, or Transporter Code 14.
So, That's just the kill button?
That's
Yeah,
just
whenever-
The
Kerplode
finny button?
things.
The finny beamer?
But in the transporter specifically.
Yeah, but
Maybe that's what helps.
why does Starfleet
Transport
have
it
all
directly
these-
into the finny tube.
Starfleet has all of these fucking general orders that are all
Terrifying?
basically kill. Or execute General Order 24. That was it, right?
That was
I think so.
sterilize
That
the
was
planet.
Sterilize the
world,
planet.
yeah.
Why is that 24? That should
Why
be-
is that at all?
Why is beam something and
Plague.
explode something with the transporter? And like he had to know.
Well, okay.
That's putting a lot of faith in O'Brien. I
If
gotta
you
say.
are like dealing with a situation where someone has like, let's say someone has armed a bomb that you don't know how to disarm,
Blow it up. Well, wait.
but that's the thing.
Blow it
Like,
up away from
maybe
you.
what it is the transporter helps contain the blast. Maybe that's why the explosion of this super weapon was so.
Oh, you think that's what it was? You think it was like a force field?
It sort of like helps contain it. Maybe.
That makes more sense.
I was honestly half expecting the end of the episode would be. Turns out the explosion was just a trick effect, and he'd actually just had it beamed to the Enterprise. It was going to be like on his desk.
Turns
he's
out
gonna-
the explosion was nothing but a red herring.
He's gonna keep it with that blanket he got from the Mintakans.
Yeah.
And probably that singing rock from wherever.
Oh yeah, the same
Pen
one.
pals.
The
Yeah.
singing sword from Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the shoe.
Poor Shoe. Shoe got melted.
That movie's fucked up.
But yeah, I could see that just being like you sort of imploded in a small safe
Okay,
space.
that makes
And like I said,
more
if
sense.
you assume it's like that, it helps
Why not
contain
just explode it in the transporter beam itself?
Well, that's what I mean. I think that's what they did.
I mean, like in particles.
Why not just
Oh,
beam
I
it
know.
into the sun? Oh.
Ooh.
Ah,
I don't want to do that.
Nice.
Oops. And Picard destroys Risa.
What was it doing on Risa anyway? So somebody came back from the future.
In the 22nd century,
Was
it hit it
getting-
there.
27th.
Was
No, I say he went back to the 22nd
Oh.
from the 27th.
Okay.
was banging some Horgon in the cave and it
Yep.
fell out of his pocket.
Yep.
And then he went home. Like why?
They were hiding it from the future, and then had to go and collect it again.
It does seem weird to hide it on a vacation world.
Well, because no one's gonna go spelunking when there's lots of bitches to bang.
You know.
See, I also thought when Vash hit it in the fucking Horgon, that would be found immediately, because those Horgons get used all the fucking time.
Well, we see those ones were part of the hotel lobby display. They weren't for sale.
Well, why did they already have a built-in
the
hidden
hotel
compartment?
party. There's already 8 shawties.
It's where you normally put your condoms.
Why you think you bring a hoe to a hotel?
Actually, that'd be fine. Normally you open them just prophylactics.
Was that also Chingy?
What?
Holiday Inn? I don't know. I think
It's a rapper we've
These aren't-
discussed in the
these-
past.
We talked about Chingy last week, and I think it was the same. I think that he did the rat there.
Yeah, that's great, Jake.
Anywho,
Anywho.
what was I was gonna say? Oh yeah, so hiding shit in the past, dumb idea, right? Because the thing is, the past eventually becomes the now. Mm-hmm. So like, if you hide something like I don't know somebody's head in a cave,
Somebody's head. That's weirdly specific, Jake.
sure.
Did
Well, it's
Picard
like that
get head
episode
in that
of,
cave?
Yes.
It's like that episode of Futurama where they drop Bender's
off.
head out of the Planet Express ship, and then they go and they find it in the 31st century because they have to go back to the future.
Sure. Or a future Star Trek episode that hasn't happened yet.
Yes, well, I was trying to avoid that.
Or what fucking show did we watch once? Terra Nova, was it? No.
Yeah, it was Terra
Was it
Nova.
Terra Nova?
Terra fucking Nova!
Yeah, that's-
Terra fucking shithole Nova.
Yep.
Worst television show ever produced
Yep.
by anyone
Yes, it was.
ever.
And
yet
You
every
know,
element was
underneath,
bad.
I mean, like it's in a league with Terra Nova, Under the Fucking Dome, Revolution, and no, that's it. That's the trio.
Under the fucking dome, huh?
So bad.
Is that by Stephen fucking King?
It is.
Thought so.
Fucking awful.
Yes, you've explained the premise of that before.
What, Under
Good.
the dome?
Of Terra
No, Terra
Nova?
Nova.
Terra Nova is such
And
a
how much you
garbage.
hate it.
It's so fucking bad.
I've never seen it, but I'm with you.
Don't.
I hate it.
It's
Also.
so bad.
Yeah, there's shows that you watch that are bad, but they're entertainingly bad. This one is just it makes you want to like
so the
claw
whole-
your own
The whole
flesh.
premise
like-
of the
like
show
Captain N.
was that they're like, oh, we're not really in dinosaur times because we sent back an indestructible object and we couldn't find it in the future. And then somebody else comes, and then I'm sitting there, I'm like, how do you know Picard and Vash didn't just show up and take it? Oh, because things can last on the surface of a planet, no matter what they're made out of, for like
millions of years and tectonic activity or other things or asteroid strikes, none of that would possibly destroy it.
And
I
was
like this voice.
I was gonna say, I'm finding this voice kind of.
Is it good?
Tell me more.
Yeah, it's so fucking bad. Anyway,
Anyway.
point is, you don't hide shit in the past because eventually the past becomes the now.
Yeah.
If you're gonna hide something and you're a time travel, you hide it in the fucking future. You go to the fucking distant future, you hide it. No one's gonna find it. Ever. Well, in the distant future, maybe.
Oh, okay, I understand.
You know what I'm saying? You go to the past. Like, because here's the thing. If Vash hadn't found it, the fucking Vorgons, whatever the fuck they were, they could have just waited it out.
They could have gone to 27th century Risa, found it there, got laid.
But there's like... Rice in the 27th century is just an ocean of spunk.
Is that anything like Buck Rogers in the 20th century? But doesn't time travel kind of rely on the idea that like time is linear and all moments are happening at once-ish?
Nah,
No,
depends on
well,
what
it does in this
series
case
you ask.
Because in that case, hiding it in the future won't work. Somebody in the future could still find it, right? Kind of.
But it won't ruin your current time. It won't ruin the 27th.
Yeah,
Also,
okay, you're
well,
right.
if
I
you
don't
really
know.
wanted to get rid of the
I
fucking
hate time
thing, why
travel.
don't you just
It's
call
confusing.
Order 14? Because apparently it's easy enough to destroy this thing in the 24th century.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the... But then, of course, it's that obvious answer of, we wouldn't have had an episode.
Yeah, it's also true. But then again, I contend the reason nothing about this episode makes the least amount of sense is because
It was all
it
fabricated
was
by
all
Riker.
set up. You ever see that movie, The Game?
Yeah.
With, what's his name?
You ever
Michael
seen?
Douglas.
You
Michael
ever seen
Douglas?
that movie? Fuck, what the fuck is it called? Jim Carrey.
Liar.
Truman Show.
Oh.
Yes, but no. That's not what this is. The Game was a fun movie, though.
I've never seen
Michael
it.
Douglas.
I love Michael Douglas.
He plays this like rich bastard guy, and I mean,
So
he's not
he
really-
plays himself.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
And then like his brother, who he's estranged from, I think, like buys him like the best birthday gift, and it's like a LARP, and where like he's supposed to
Would
be.
you like to define LARP in case anyone out
Oh,
here lives
we're-
under a
Our
rock?
listeners know what a LARP is.
It's just live action role play.
Yeah, but yeah,
right?
basically like you're gonna be the star of a real life adventure, and he's like, yeah, I'm
make
sure it'll
out
be
with
fun.
Vash.
And they're like, you'll never know when it'll start, it'll just happen, but it'll be fun. You'll have a great time. It gets really fucked because like it turns out the whole thing might be real, and like there's actually people trying to kill him.
Oh.
Similarly, there is the underrated Bill Murray classic, The Man Who Knew Too Little. Actually, I don't remember if it's good or not.
But it's not good.
It's a similar idea where he's like, a relative gets him like a spy LARP, but then something goes wrong and he runs into real spies, but the whole time he thinks it's still just this game. So he's like, this is fun, no one could possibly get hurt.
Oh, shit.
It's also the premise to the movie Game Night.
Haven't seen that.
Yeah, I've only seen ads.
I watched it on the plane.
Oh, you watched it? Was it any good?
It's all
Was
right.
it worth watching?
It's all right. I mean, Jesse Plemons is in it. That's what
Isn't
makes
that
it.
also-
Jesse Plemons and fucking Jason Bateman, right?
Yeah, Rachel
Love Jason
McAdams.
Ooh. Isn't that sort of also then like the... Have you all ever seen Knights of Badassery?
Bateman. No.
Peter Dinklage was in it for some reason. I think
Isn't
it was
that
like
asked him?
Badassdom thing. Whatever.
Something stupid.
Whatever.
The name alone would turn me off.
Well, and it was actually pretty good, but the idea is that like they're all already like out LARPing in the woods, and then like a real thing happens, and I think that some of them maybe think that it's not a real thing, but then it kills a few people.
Whoops.
It gets a little realer.
Any
James,
remaining...
what's that?
What?
Boop. Oh shit! And I hit you in the wrong part of the face as well. I was trying to boop your nose, and I booped your face.
Yeah, you just fingered my mouth a little. Okay.
Well, I'm sorry. I
Okay.
apologize for
Fine,
molesting your mouth.
That's fine. That's fine. Last thing I was gonna say, Rom doesn't know how to say human yet.
Yeah, I know, I was very upset.
Yeah.
What was he saying? Human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Like, oh
disappointing.
man, I swear other Ferengi have said it
I
already.
thought they had, yeah.
Think anyone's ever stuck a Horgon up there?
Oh, totally.
What, in there for JJ?
Or anywhere. Any
Any orifice?
I assume that's what they were for.
Do you think that Ferengi stick them in their
Is that
ears?
way they get the flared base?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't lose it. Do you think that Ferengi have ear sex?
Yeah, it's called
They'll get to it.
Umox or something like that.
Stop. Are you fucking for real right now?
Yeah, it's not like sex. It's like it's very sensitive.
Oh, it's like a sensual massage of the ears. or
Yeah,
something.
but it's very
But you massage it with your
They
penis.
come. They get off. on it.
like
There's
they
a very
really like-
particular way you have to do it.
But yeah, they really like it, and like it's pretty graphic.
It is.
Is it as graphic as the Ponfar hand touches?
It is.
More
it,
so.
it makes Ponfar look not far enough.
Oh, pun too short.
Pawn
That wasn't
near.
funny. That wasn't a good one.
No, you win the episode.
Pawn far. Pawn near.
No, Aim's already.
Okay, we've strangled the Pon Far joke today.
Yes.
Are you saying we've pawn far enough?
We
Every
surely
episode.
have.
We only go pun far enough.
Don't call me Shirley.
So,
So in a, I have one more thing on my card.
Cool.
Yes.
In an original draft, there would have been a sideshow kind of thing that Picard goes to on Risa that wants to show everyone what their greatest fear is. And Picard's greatest fear, according to this sideshow, would have been he
Batman?
becomes an admiral and gets a desk job.
Oh.
I was expecting it to be children.
Well, that actually seems right too, though, because like this is his idea of vacation is like swashbuckling around, spelunking in caves.
I'm glad
so-
they got rid of that because they've already done this with Kirk,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
that was Kirk's whole problem. Was that he became an
Yeah.
admiral and got a desk job and he hated it.
Yeah. Until McCoy said, you really have to fucking get your captaincy back. Also, look at these awesome glasses I bought you.
Which you
and
promptly
don't-
destroy.
Of
And
course
don't
he
trade
does.
them away like a dick.
Yeah.
That's not how time travel works.
But yeah, so Roddenberry vetoed the idea, but really, really liked the idea of Risa.
Of course he did.
Surprising
Of
everyone.
course
Wait,
he
who did Roddenberry?
Roddenberry.
Oh.
In fact, he wanted Risa to have lots of erotic activity happening in the background,
Of course he did.
including lots of same-sex erotic activity happening in the
Okay,
background.
open-minded. That's fair.
They got around it by swearing that hiring that many extras wouldn't have been in the budget.
So Tin Man.
So Tin Man, what did everyone think of Tam?
He was interesting.
He's a cuckoo.
They
I
did
like
a
it.
great job establishing him as just hateable until you realize there's a reason you're hateable. So I know I'm conflicted.
Yeah, he's not like
I
your
want
typical...
you to get killed by the thing,
He's
but
not-
I understand you.
He's not your typical sort of like... He's not... At first you think he's just yet another overconfident, arrogant Starfleet Federation attaché diplomat type. But then you realize, like, no, he's like...
Yeah.
He's got a
just
legitimate...
he's just tortured. He's got
Yeah.
a tortured soul.
Yeah,
I
he's
kind of-
like been just inundated his entire life with noise he can't shut off. And he's so far ahead of everyone because he can hear all their thoughts and everything's moving so slow for him.
Do you think
And
there's
can
like
sympathize.
a commentary here on like autistic people?
I
and
was
how
thinking that a little
on how
bit.
they
I know.
encounter the world.
I know this this whole episode was taken almost entirely from a short story that turned into a novel called Tin Woodman.
Oh.
And they took it specifically because it was like ready to shoot. Like the second they got the script, they started like the next week with production stuff.
Where did they get the fucking music for this episode? Because I don't know
New
about
guy.
you guys, but was it a new guy?
It was a new guy.
Okay,
I didn't even
it was
notice it.
totally weird.
Yeah.
It was
See,
all like
so-
action-y.
I was actually going to ask about that because normally I watch these on TV.
Yeah.
But this one I actually watched on laptop with headphones. So I wasn't sure if I was noticing the music more because of that or if it was just way more noticeable.
No,
this
it was
time.
It's a-
scored entirely different than
it's
any previous episode.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's a new staff person that is going to become a regular. That's going to swap off back and forth with one of their other
I mean,
main music sound guys.
it did a pretty good job of making the stakes and the events seem larger scale than they actually were.
Yeah, well, that's what I kept thinking. I kept being like, man, this seems like it's really fucking serious right now.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of that can be sort of part of the effect of a good score.
Did you notice the music, Caitlin? I didn't.
No,
either.
not at all.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is I was very conscious of it. I was like, maybe this is just because I'm wearing headphones, but apparently it wasn't. But it made me think of what's his name, Robert Zemeckis, where he was saying like with the original Back to the Future, they had, relatively speaking, not much of a budget. And so, he's talking to the composer, Alan Silvestri, and he's basically like, so, what should I do there? And he's talking about, he basically said, could you make it seem bigger than it all is? And, that's where you get this huge, wonderful, sort of brassy Back to the Future score. And, again, like in this did the similar thing. It just made everything seem so vital and huge and larger scale. It made it seem bigger and more epic. And I appreciated it.
I thought it was misplaced in this episode.
Oh, see, I enjoyed it.
See, I think this would have been a good soundtrack for, I don't know, an episode where there actually seemed like there were really high stakes into the story. Like in this case, it's like, okay, some fucking space whale dies. But like, it was like, we're on the brink of war. The Romulan, this would have been a great soundtrack for the not Galorndon Core, then the one after Galorndon Core, where Tomalak chases them into the neutral zone.
I thought that was Galorndon Core.
No. Galorndon Core is when.
Oh,
Geordi-
the one with the Defector.
The Defector. Yeah, this would have been a great soundtrack for the Defector.
Oh, I thought Galorndon Core was the Defector.
No.
So yeah, we agree then.
The
The Defector.
Galorndon Core was where
where they were
Geordi gets trapped on the planet with the Romulan.
Yeah, and,
Yes.
and makes best friends.
The Enemy was the title of that.
There we go. Yeah, the Defector.
Terrible titles.
We agreed on the episode. I just forgot Galorndon Core. Was a part of it.
So the Defector, like that's the kind of music I would expect from that episode, where it's like, holy shit, there's actual real stakes here. This is some Cuban Missile Crisis shit. Whereas this one, I'm just like, okay, yeah, I get it. It's sad that the space whale's in trouble, but on the other hand, I'm just like, yeah, but you're heightening the tension for no apparent reason here.
I mean, would the episode be kind of boring to listen to otherwise?
Yeah, it's a boring, forgettable
It's one
episode.
of the more
Oh,
it's one
really?
of the more heady ones.
I actually really enjoyed this one.
I enjoyed it to an extent, but it's not one that you're going to remember in 6 months.
I don't know, because I like Ames. I was really taken in by how they handled the character of Tam. I thought that ended up being, like, I was like, oh god, just this again. It's like, oh no, it isn't this again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of expected almost like a Charlie X bullshit or something.
Yeah. When he's making his connections with Data, you're like, this is actually a good characterization for you. Like, to learn that you're someone with whom I can create a relationship from the ground up, instead of hearing in your head, man, this guy's annoying, over and over again, like how Troy is all the time.
Yeah. Although, in this episode, though, fuck Riker. What a douche.
Well,
He was like, I mean, again, I get it. Yeah, his friends died, but it does sound like what happened was he said, like, hey, Captain, maybe don't do this thing. And yeah, he admits maybe he should have gone, like, no, Captain, really, don't do this thing. But if we didn't have this fucking mindset of Starfleet captains just getting to, like, swing their dicks around, I don't have to listen to the expert. No. You know, I just thought Riker was being unfair.
It reminded me of that episode where McCoy had to slap a woman who was given birth.
Yeah, the
How?
cave.
Yeah.
No, I remember the episode. I'm just not sure where the connection is.
Because there are people who you have to act a very certain way, or they'll just kill you.
I see.
And they killed one of the red shirts for having a gun on him or something.
Yes,
And it's
okay.
like, who told this guy he could have a gun on him?
Yeah.
These people have very, very specific cultural taboos.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like, but again, I go back to the point of, why are Starfleet captains in charge of this very delicate shit?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
there should be people like, and it
Yeah, we
shouldn't be
discussed there
fucking
should be-
Tam because he's a fucking weirdo and no one wants to be around him.
Well, he's a little unbalanced for sure.
Yeah.
And I sort of wonder if part of the reason why the captain was like, I fucking do what I want, was because Tam was like, no, Captain, you really shouldn't do this thing. And he was just like, fuck you.
No,
weirdo,
Tam
do it
wasn't
anyway.
like, no, Captain, you really shouldn't do this thing. He was like, you're doing it wrong! You're doing it wrong! Fuck you! You're doing it wrong! You're a fucking idiot!
Come on now. I'm sure he didn't say that.
No, you know he did because he's a fucking asshole. He's an asshole
honestly,
to everybody.
I wasn't that bothered by Tam.
I thought he was an asshole.
I mean, I guess
Well, I guess, yeah, he was a bit much, but again, you find out why, and you're like, all right, I get it.
Yeah, I understand his plight. I have sympathy.
You still wouldn't want to
compassion
hang
for him.
out with him.
Yeah,
at
and I
all.
certainly wouldn't put him in a situation where his conduct could have an impact that could.
But his conduct didn't.
The
That
captain's
we know of.
conduct did. Well, we assume it's the captain.
Well,
We don't assume.
I don't know.
Well, I think Starfleet needs to seriously reevaluate their first contact procedures.
Yeah.
I did enjoy him, calling Riker on his shit and calling him Billy Boy. That was hysterical.
Oh, I missed
I
that.
missed that.
Yeah, he called it.
Shithead.
Yeah, he's like, yes, Billy Boy, and during the scene in the...
Oh, yeah. When he's like, I did blah, 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 whatever. Yes, I remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what's on your mind, Riker. Underneath all the pornography,
Yeah.
you're mad at me.
Oh, God. Reading Riker's mind must be just...
I can imagine being a telepath must be like being a gynecologist or a urologist or something, right? Because it's like, how can you talk to somebody when you know and you've seen it? Like, how can you look somebody in the eye and be like,
How can you look somebody in the brown eye and
No.
still
There we go.
There
it's
it
like,
is.
I know all that's going on underneath.
Some of my best conversations ever have been with gynecologists.
Really? Maybe it's because there's like an honesty there. It's like, you know everything. So
Yay, you've seen my vag. Let's chat.
let's have a talk.
So she actually wasn't a gynecologist. It was an NP.
It wasn't
He had this.
it was just some guy I met in a back alley.
He said he was a doctor.
I
and
mean,
he'd
he
have a
had
look.
stirrups, so.
No, but it was an NP. It wasn't like an officially gynecologist. But I feel like, I was like, so I think this might be the problem. And we had this very frank discussion, and she came in and was like, guess what? That was the problem. And I was like, Yay!
She was honestly probably thrilled to have someone just be really straightforward, because I bet a lot of people are kind of...
I had too many toy soldiers up there. That might be the problem.
That's usually the problem.
I tried using a real egg with my ovipositor.
Oh, no.
Why is it that every fucking podcast I'm on, ovipositors come up?
Because they're fucking hilarious.
I was actually just talking about the ovipositor last night. I was like, have you heard about the ovipositor? Oh, hey, Star Trek.
Yes, please. Good.
Where the fuck were we before we went down that road? Talking about Tam.
Oh, yeah, and how you guys hate him.
So the Tin Man itself, why? Why Tin Man?
It was a code name.
No, I know, but what a dumb code name.
Because he just needed some lube.
He needed a heart. I don't know.
Oh, was Tam his heart?
Tam was his heart, and also his balls, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm sure Tam fucked Gomtu the second they got beamed off.
Oh, yeah, no, like another little thing grew out of the ground in front of the chair, like a little fleshlight, basically.
The chair effect looked better than I thought it would.
Yeah, that was surprising.
I read that they just made a chair out of wax and melted it and then put the footage in reverse, and I was like, that's going to look terrible. And it didn't look as bad as I thought it
That's
would.
how a lot of those things
It was kind of cool.
are back in the day, you know? Melt some shit.
It's funny, because I thought it looked kind of like stop motion, but I could see how reversing footage of a melting thing would... Either way, it looked really cool.
Yeah, it was good.
So I guess I kind of missed the entire point of this episode, I think. Like, why do they give a shit that this... Well, why do they give a shit that this thing's going to explode?
They want to make sure the Tin Man isn't there when it explodes.
It could be a
But
big
why
weapon.
do they care?
It's a living thing. It's in a
It's
completely...
yeah.
I'm sorry, do they save every living thing
Well, it's a
from
completely-
every blowing up star?
It's a completely unique living thing.
Yeah, it's a bioship.
But
They've
it was
never
doing
seen
it because
one
it
like
wanted to
before.
die, didn't?
Well, they
isn't
didn't know
Isn't that
that.
what Tam said?
They
That it
didn't-
like was actually doing? It was like committing suicide.
Well, they didn't know that until Tam got there.
Okay, so this was the point I was making earlier, though. So, like, does it still do it, or does it decide not to do it because Tam?
That's specifically.
Yeah, they
vague.
leave that up to the viewer, I think.
I think it still did it because I think they both wanted to die, and I think that they both found the acceptance and belonging they wanted, and were like, "Good, it's never going to get better than this. Let's just end it." But I'm a pessimist.
Yeah, I mean,
Apparently.
I personally...
And I think they specifically left it vague because you don't want to glorify suicide.
You can imagine Tin Man being like, "Oh, finally, I've met someone after and we can spend the next
3 seconds together.
100 million years roaming the galaxy." And
I don't think
and,
Tam's gonna live that
and
long.
Tam's like,
My
so
lifespan
about
is-
lifespans here. We got probably like another 30 years.
Although we don't know.
Also, what can you make food for me? What can you feed
Yeah,
me?
Well, he must be able to...
More of that chair?
It had
share food?
It had a crew before, so it probably could
but it's
use
like
something.
but they're aliens. They probably eat poo.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, we don't know. This thing is borderline magic. For all we know, it can also keep him alive
It's
for
true.
an inordinate. I want to be optimistic and assume they're tooling around having space adventures.
Space
Yeah,
sex.
I don't think so.
That too.
Space sex ventures.
I think, I don't know. I think I prefer to imagine that they like died in each other's arms and it was magic.
Either way, it's nice that they found each other.
The most shocking thing about this episode, though, surprising, I'd say, is the fact that the captain of the Hood survived the episode, as far as we know.
Captain DeSoto?
Because he was such good friends with Riker and Picard. I'm
true.
like, oh, an old friend.
They do.
He doesn't have long for this world.
That's why he got out of there as fast as he could.
Yeah.
Yep,
He was
yep.
like, all right, beam the guy, get the fuck out of here, warp 8.
Yeah, he was first mentioned in Farpoint eventually.
Was he?
Yeah,
The
he was
original,
Riker's original commanding officer.
Yeah, that's why
Right,
he
he's
thought
dropped
he was
off
right.
by the Hood. Holy shit, I forgot.
That's why they're...
God damn, good
Yeah,
call back.
continuity for a change.
Well, I
in
thought you
Star
were just
Trek.
saying cunt. I was like, wow.
Continuity.
Continuity.
Same cunt twice.
Oh my.
Same cunt time, same cunt channel.
So here DeSoto says something which does sort of beg the question, though. What does a lot of the fleet do?
What does God need with a
Because he
starship?
talks about, you're Galaxy class boys, get sent out to do all this extra. I'm just schlepping between
But that's
star bases.
probably
well,
a lot
There's,
of shit.
like-
there's a lot of fucking planets. So they remember how the Enterprise had to like stop off and do like medical
like
exams
medical
on
stuff.
the craters and shit.
Well, or even just cargo, like bringing
Yeah.
medicines and
Well,
bringing
what do you think fucking modern naval ships do 99% of the time?
Well,
butt sex.
we've explored...
No?
Well, here's the thing, though. We've explored the vast majority of our planet, and they are a strictly military organization. Starfleet is theoretically military second.
Yeah, but I mean, even the Navy has, continuing with that example, I mean, they do humanitarian shit. They're bringing,
Yeah.
they're doing disaster relief.
Yeah, well, I mean, but I guess as
Maybe they also do like how like sometimes flagships will visit different ports. Maybe they have to do that sometimes. Maybe part of their thing is like some of them are when you get people to enlist. That's it. Enlistment. Enlistment? Is that a word?
But everybody wants to be in Starfleet.
Enlistitude.
Yeah.
Enlistitude, sir.
I mean, I guess you also apologies about the weed whacking everyone.
Not at the table, Chris. Jesus. Jake, put it away.
But I mean, I guess, we do see, we do tend to see sort of, with TNG and TOS, we mostly they see a planet, they go, that was fun, and then they leave. But either Caitlin Rames was saying basically, then you send, the Hood to do the really tedious, all right, we're going to orbit this planet for half a year and map the shit out of it and actually we're going to send down teams and this and that.
Cartographers.
Or like the fucking
space
Grissom,
cartographers.
right? The Grissom was
I like that.
a fucking...
Dedicated science vessel,
But think their fucking mission was to fly around looking at rando-ass planets.
Well, they were specifically being sent to study Genesis in 3.
But they were... Oh,
What,
no,
who?
not
Are we
Grissom.
talking about
I was
Enterprise?
thinking of the Reliant. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah,
I was
yeah.
confusing it. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
the
they were-
Reliant was doing...
Work for the Genesis project.
yeah.
So they were looking for a planet with no
So,
life.
what
right?
a fucking
Wasn't that their
boring
deal?
job that was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we found a microbe. Guess it's over.
Yeah.
Oh, we found a megalomaniac from the late 20th century. Guess it's over.
Whoops.
Honestly, it's like, there is some life, but they're kind of dickheads. So can we just go for it or what? What's the protocol there?
There's life here, but it's apparently a colony that was founded by the Jersey Shore people. It's like, wipe that.
It looks
Order
like-
24 now.
It looks like they might be DTF.
Oh god, send Riker, beam him back up, then Order 24.
But anywho, back to the thing. The Hood, they're there. DeSoto, he's got his friendship with Picard and Riker.
Yep. I think they have little matching friendship bracelets they made at Starfleet,
Yes.
Camp.
some sort of Starfleet camp. Yeah. A retreat.
Shore leave. More like shore. Fun. Like S-U-R-E. Never mind.
No, I got it.
Sure. Leave.
Okay, I'll go.
I'm working on it.
Wow.
So why did they send? So they send Tam because Tam wants to see the critter.
Yep.
And the Enterprise is going specifically because it's the fastest to get there, or what have you. But putting Tam on the Enterprise is literally torture because there's 1,000 people all getting in his head.
Well, I think Troy even says that to him. Why would you choose this mission?
It surprised me because before that scene, I'm like, this is really, really inhumane to Tam. Isn't there something else they can do? And I started thinking about the emissary when they just shot Kalar,
yeah.
yeah, in that little torpedo tube until they caught up with it. Couldn't they just shoot the torpedo tube at Gamtu?
Well, I don't think... But the whole point of sending the Enterprise is because it's the fastest ship, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but the torpedo went faster.
Did it? It went faster than the top speed of the Enterprise?
I think it had been shot from the starbase, but I think they were able to... they were able to catch up because in the end they were still faster than it. I don't know, that whole torpedo thing was weird and dumb anyway.
That's true.
But point is, this Enterprise is the fastest ship. That's why it had to be the Enterprise.
Yeah.
And probably the closest. Because I assume any Galaxy class is probably the same speed.
Yeah.
No, because Geordi got that extra
Well, then,
couple percent efficiency out of the engine.
well, then any Galaxy class should be able to do that.
That's true.
No,
You
but
could
see,
send
no,
us
but-
a-
Unless you specifically need Geordi.
Well, no, because
Nobody needs
Geordi
Geordi.
modified the dilithium chamber to rotate the crystal to get more out of it.
Yeah. Why couldn't you do that on another ship?
Because Leah Brahms will come and step on your dick.
Yep. Okay, that's true.
But what if you're into that? Just asking
Geordi
for a
certainly
friend.
is.
And fake Picard also made him increase the efficiency. So the Enterprise has a lot of extra little bonuses to its warp system.
I just feel like they should tour Geordi around and make all these adjustments to all the ships.
Well, couldn't he just send his data to the other ships?
Well, we know that the rotated crystal was something that they were planning for the next class of ship. Isn't that what Robo Brahms said?
I think so, yeah.
Robo Brahms.
It'll be in the Intrepid class or something.
Yeah, so that hasn't been... So yeah, it's something that they're aware of, but the modification has only been done on the Enterprise. And it's probably one of those things where it's like, it's field engineering.
Yeah.
So if you try to do it, they'd have to, study it, because I'm sure it changes the hull stresses and all that shit. So it's you probably could, but...
And they were already running the ship through a bit of a ringer in this episode.
Yeah. I like that the Romulans are slower than them, though.
But they're back, so it's okay.
Yeah, they're in the back because they're slow.
Bye, assholes. I don't understand though, right? So the Romulans were shadowing them.
Yep.
And they were going at full blast.
Tam should have been able to read their minds and say that was
Yeah,
them.
exactly. Tam should have picked them up.
Well, how
Yeah.
close do they have to be, though?
He was
I don't know,
talking.
he's
to,
been, like,
he was-
reaching-
Yeah,
yeah,
he was
I was
talking
gonna
to Tin Man. from
Well, but
across
he
the
even said,
galaxy.
though, it's not... That was more Tin Man's doing than his.
Oh.
Because
Yeah, but Troy's been able to sense things, like, a couple ships away.
But then we don't know, we don't know exactly what the range of their sensors are. Like,
Sensors.
the Enterprise.
I'm not talking about the Enterprise, I'm talking about Tam.
No, but that's what I mean, though. Like, they could be... The Enterprise could be detecting a ship that's still well outside of Deanna or Tam's abilities.
Okay. Well, other thing too. Why is the Romulans shadowing them?
Why are the Romulans shattering?
Well,
That's the word I meant to use.
They can't get ahead of them, so they might as well at least keep
Maybe
an eye on
they're
them.
they're in their drift stream. What's the fucking word for that?
Oh, like
Slipstream.
Slipstream.
yeah, but I don't think that works with warp.
I don't see why not.
Because
Actually-
that whole thing is like with wind resistance. Like there's no air resistance. In
Actually,
space.
it can. You can merge warp fields.
I think, but then they'd have to literally be.
Oh yeah, they'd be
on
like
top
right
of
up
each
their
other.
ass.
Didn't they do that with another ship once?
They do it in Enterprise. I don't know if they've done it.
Oh yeah,
up to
they do
this
do it
point.
in Enterprise. That's what I'm thinking of.
But yeah, no, I think it's a matter of they want to keep up with this as best they can, even with all the destructive bullshit they've done to their ship. They still can't overtake them. So the best they can do is just kind of keep an eye on them.
Yeah. And Picard had a good line in that respect when the Romulans and they're racing to get to the thing, and Picard says, "Being first is not always the point." And I think to myself, "Oh yes, spoken like a true Brit."
Wow.
Oof, Robert Falcon.
I get it.
Robert Vulcan Spock.
Although
Spock.
if I understand what I've seen on Facebook recently, England is going to the finals in the World Cup, so they might be coming in first soon.
England?
They'll blow it at the last second.
Who are they going up against?
I have no idea.
Not Brazil, because Brazil got knocked out.
Did they? Well, they're all going to be killed.
No, I'm sorry. Brazil knocked... No, I'm sorry. Brazil... Maybe it is Brazil. Hold on.
I don't know
think
anything
it's
about the World
Brazil.
Cup. I'm surprised.
How's
Normally,
the U.S. doing?
I have no fucking clue.
That's
I
the
think
joke.
normally I know World Cup.
The joke is the U.S. isn't in the World Cup.
Oh, okay.
We're not?
No.
They didn't qualify.
How can it be a World Cup without us? We're the most important.
But yeah, no, I normally learn World Cup through Facebook osmosis, but for some reason my usual Facebook soccer friends are not as active this year.
I've been watching it at the gym, so.
Okay.
Soccer, footy.
Anyway, sorry about that.
It's a good game of footsie.
This is probably going to get posted well after the World Cup is over, so...
Congratulations, Belarus. Well, I'm for Belarus. Shut up.
Wait, are they really in it?
They've been in it.
Oh, good for them.
They had a good game the other day.
I don't even know what that is.
Belarus, it's a
so-
former Soviet.
Wait, did you say that England is in it? Yeah, England is versus Sweden on Saturday.
Sweden.
Sweden, yeah.
Poopin,
Was Amundsen Swedish? No, he was Norwegian. Close. Same thing.
Oh,
So-
Apologies to our Northern European friends.
It'll be Uruguay v France.
they all hate the Swedes.
Brazil
Don't worry
v
about it.
Belgium. Russia v Croatia. Ooh, is that loaded? Does Croatia ever hang out with the Russians? No. Never mind.
I'm sure they hate each other.
And Sweden and England.
Sweden?
Sweden, yeah.
See, I was under the impression they were already down to the last round. I don't know why. I
No,
thought that.
second round.
Maybe the World Cup won't be over by the time this is posted.
The
then I have
final
no
will
idea.
be on July 15th.
Oh, so it'll actually be after this goes up.
It will be.
I'll probably have cut all this
It'll be a
stuff,
week from
so-
Sunday.
So we won't give a shit.
Great.
Good.
Really, the
Good
only
talk.
sport that matters is Parisi squares.
Wow, that's just.
But it's too dangerous for you.
They're still doing the ESP tests.
Oh
I
yeah, that's
heard.
right. Yeah, that was
Like,
funny.
man,
I was like,
Dr.
that's-
Dana would be great in
Have you
this.
seen how silver his eyes are?
Those were again those terrifying black like a doll's eyes, Betazoid.
I liked them actually though. They worked for him somehow. Usually, like on Majel Barrett, they creeped me the fuck out. On
Yeah.
him, I was like, yeah, it kind of makes sense.
But that's like it helps add to his whole sort of like completely frazzled appearance.
That's true.
That is one thing I'll say. They do work fine on Marina Sirtis. She's the one person who they put those contacts in, and I'm not like
That's because the irises. Because they're not very big. Like,
That's true. Everyone else's are like
they like
huge.
Yeah, it's like
Well, is that maybe because she's half human, so
yeah. That was my thinking.
They should be striped.
That's right.
black on one side, some
she
other color on the other?
Thank God they don't have like square pupils like goats. That'd be creepy.
God, so fucking
Are they square?
No,
They're
they're like oblong.
Yeah, they're kind of almost like weird cat eyes.
Alice cats have little tiny circle iris or pupils.
Really?
Well, most cats have those oblong pupils.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I really like this one.
Yeah,
I
I
liked
enjoyed
Tam's
it.
angle. I liked the whole sad story with Tin Man. I got caught up in the overblown soundtrack. I was like, yes, epic!
Yeah, Gumshoe reminded me an awful lot of the ship in Farscape.
Yeah, I was thinking of the Moya, because that's also a
Bioship.
a living ship.
No,
Although,
so is the ship in Lex.
yeah, but then you're watching Lex. And
Yeah,
you,
I know,
and you
it's-
regret that.
Yeah, that's
immensely.
true.
But yeah, no, I don't know. Moya was cool. But the thing is, Moya was still, I think, constructed, even though it's alive. I don't think it was.
I don't remember. I
What?
think they should rewatch it sometime.
And that's the thing. I don't know if, like, with this, they were a little vague. They were like, we think it may... They weren't sure if it was somehow built or bred. Like, if it was it just...
What just
took
happened?
me years, fucking years, to get that, like, one of the many, many things Gene Wilder quotes as Willy Wonka is, where is fancy bread? In the heart or in the head? And of course he means bread as in breeding, but for years as a child I was like, what is fancy bread and what does it have to do with the heart or the
It's
mind?
like that oat nut bread. Yeah, seriously, why are we weed whacking today? Today's a terrible
too
day
hot
to
to
weed
whack.
It's
whack.
fucking Independence Day, bro.
And it's
He's
hot as
free
balls.
he's free to weed whack whenever he wants.
Freedom whacking.
Ugh.
You're right.
Again,
You're
we
right, this is
apologize.
America.
This started well after we'd started recording.
I'm not sorry.
Anywho, speaking another Farpoint connection, though, talking about the ship.
Far point?
Yeah,
Or
'cause-
Farscape?
Encountering.
Farpoint.
Okay.
The like bioship.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
it's the
that was the
jellyfish.
jellyfish were also kind of like
Bioshipy.
bioships.
Yeah. 'Cause
That's
they
funny.
have-
I wrote down the jellyfish and I wrote Farscape instead of Far Point.
Close.
But they both
They
work.
all fit. They all work.
Yeah. No.
So yeah, so you get DeSoto though, and you got the jellyfish.
Wow. So many tie-ins.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But yes, I choose to believe
Ooh,
that.
and in Farpoint, it was Deanna that was communicating with the
Oh, yeah,
with the
good point.
monster.
Huh.
Pain.
That was that's right. You just reminded me when
That was good, you guys.
when he goes on his little monologue and Troy
He
realizes
being Tam?
yeah, and Troy realizes he's been in touch with Tin Man. There were very much shades of when Spock mind melded with the Horta.
Mm.
You know, like
Pain.
yeah, like so alone and all this time and all this. It was very
No
like
kill I.
yes, that too.
Although Gumtu is like, kill I, kill I.
Yeah, why did Gomtu even give enough of a shit to stop the Romulans from destroying him?
Well, his pen
wanted
pal
it. He
gave him a
wanted-
warning, and he
Yeah,
just,
he was there to commit suicide anyway. It's like suicide by cop, you know?
I was thinking that.
Like, just let the Romulans take him out, and then, like, you'll draw attention to your plight.
I mean, he
Yeah,
wants
but he didn't want the thing to die without him. That's why.
That's true. He wanted to get in on. He wanted to get up in there.
And for Tin Man, it was like, you know, going out on its own terms. I'm going out in a beautiful blaze of supernova, not because some fucking little squishy things shoot me because they're dickheads.
But he also has clearly. Gumshoe has the ability to.
Gumshoe, that's what I kept thinking too. Thank you. Thank you for vocalizing what I was thinking.
Has the ability to non-lethally protect itself as he does with the other Romulan.
It may have just been like sort of just
I
getting this
assumed that was just. Sorry, go ahead.
knee-jerk instinct where he was like, danger! And it was like, what? Danger? Fuck!
Yeah.
And, you know, had it actually thought about it, would have been like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, I thought the second time, because the first time it was just kill the Romulan. Okay, cool. The second time, I think the Gumtu was trying to save the two other ships from being near the supernova.
Yeah.
Super.
I think that Tam actually had way more control than that and intentionally had it fire off like that.
I think he was using his dick as a joystick.
Is that what you call it? Using his dick as a joystick.
Inside the ship.
Yeah, after Data beams off, where it's like, Tin Man's like, all right, take your pants off. Huh? How do you think you're gonna fly this thing? Neat.
Is it kind of like the things in Avatar where like they ride
the
animals
hair.
and they fuck with the same weird connection thing?
Yeah.
You know, I've never seen Avatar,
You've missed nothing.
but I know that it has. I know, like the big mean general guy is like was like lauded for his performance
Yeah.
as being big mean general, and then he starred in the fucking awful show Terra Nova as the big mean general, and that show sucks.
Was that the guy who was in American Beauty?
No,
the military nut.
The guy that ends up. Spoiler alert! I was gonna try to work it
The
in.
movie's like You gotta try to work it in.
Eh.
The movie's 20 years old,
a bad
and nobody
movie.
should fucking watch it because Kevin Spacey is trash.
So Data, at the very, very end, he comes back to the ship and says, like, oh, the Enterprise is where I really belong. And I'm like, where did this come
That
up?
kind of
Data's always belonged on the Enterprise.
I
He
like-
loves everyone on the Enterprise.
so much of his arc with Tam, but that end scene comes the fuck out of nowhere.
Yeah, because
And it was kind of
this wasn't a
disappointing.
Data. This was a Tam arc, not a Data arc. Data was there to be supportive, not to like question his self-worth on the Enterprise.
Yeah, like it could have just ended with him telling Troy what happened, and then just like that felt unnecessary. I was like, this is a really good episode, but that moment is what?
It was unnecessary.
Yeah, it was like that didn't need to be there at all.
I wonder if there was like there should have
Stuff
been
that
other
was cut
stuff
or something,
yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
To be like Data, but if you go over to hang out on Tin Man, what if you don't come back? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I don't.
Yeah, like maybe that was like an earlier draft where
But
like,
we made such a fucking big deal out of this on The Offspring that if we lose 2 fucking androids, now we're gonna lose you anyway?
Yeah. So did anyone have any other thoughts on Tin Man? Or, I did have another thought that I meant to bring up about Captain's Holiday and I forgot to. They made a better Okana with Vash than they did with Okana.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I kind of wondered it was on purpose when he said to her, "You're outrageous." He called her outrageous at one point.
Holy shit, that's brilliant.
I didn't think of her as an Okana at all.
Well, it's like a fun rogue.
Yeah, she's
Trying less hard to be Han Solo.
I was gonna say she's less of a Han Solo ripoff and more of an Indiana Jones ripoff, and
Yeah,
also
that's
much
all I
more
was
successful.
thinking. Like she's just any woman from Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but I was in the realm of being sort of a roguish character who's like sort of morally gray, who they were perhaps hoping to have come
Okana
back.
wasn't morally gray, really, though.
Yeah, he was just a good
That's
guy.
true. They played him
he
up
was
as
a good
He just
guy.
turned out to
They
be
played
a
him
good
up
He just liked banging.
Yeah, he played him up as morally gray, then revealed he wasn't, so that's true too.
Yeah, well, Vash, we realize, is even more morally gray.
Yeah, Vash is...
A much better character than Okana either way.
Yeah, and Picard got to see her Vashina.
That's good.
Was it?
I liked it.
That's pretty good.
Here's the thing. If nothing else, Picard definitely was stressed out. He probably needed the lay.
She definitely needed delay, no doubt.
Yeah, and that's why, I don't know, my feeling about this episode is it is as good as it's going to be, but it's way better if it's set up by Riker.
Tin Man?
Yes, Riker's like...
Riker just wanted to get rid of Tam.
Yeah,
My
right.
God.
This entire season is just Riker playing jokes.
Yeah.
It's like Punked or whatever.
No, I was talking
starring
about
Bill Riker.
The Vash
Billy
episode.
Boy.
Billy Boy Riker. Billy Boy Riker.
You got that right. Alrighty. Anyway, I think that's all we had to say about these shitholes.
I think so.
And also about half an hour of things having nothing to do with Star Trek, per the
Exactly.
usual.
So, next time on Star to Steer Her By,
I am super excited.
we're going to be talking about
Oh, yes, you would be.
2 episodes.
That's
But
harsh.
I love both. I think both of these are really fun episodes. Well, fun and disturbing in some ways. 2 really decent episodes.
2 episodes.
I'm looking forward to it. They're both memorable. We meet a new crew member, a new recurring crew member in Hollow Pursuits, followed by, I don't know, I was trying to think of a joke to go with, The Most Toys, but I can't.
Most sex toys.
There we go. The
Yeah.
Most Toys.
So it's Troy's
What do you
room.
get for the guy who has everything?
The most toys.
The Most Toys. So we'll have those 2 coming up.
But Troy to keep them.
Those are going to be good.
God, the most Troys.
The Most Toys. Oh boy. So anyway, yeah, so we'll have The Most Toys, Hollow Pursuits. You're going to love it. Come back next time. In the
You're
meantime,
gonna love my nuts.
until next time, you're going to find us on Tunes, iTunes, and
Some
Google.
tunes.
Google Tunes. Search for us there or on your iPod machine, other phone, or Android phone.
Or Droon.
Or BlackBerry. I learned recently that BlackBerries still technically exist.
Yeah, they do.
My stepdad has a BlackBerry. He loves BlackBerries.
Yeah, a lot of people do. So if you have BlackBerry, I bet there's podcasts there too. So check that out. Windows Phone 10, maybe. I don't know. Find out. Also, you can get us on social media on Facebook.
Start Facebook.
Facebook.com. Search for Star to Steer Her By. That's our name. Don't wear it out. You can also find us on iTunes and Twitter and Tumblr too, where our name is @SSHB Podcast. No underscore. Just SSHB Podcast.
How many capitals?
None.
None.
Find us.
Well, several, but it doesn't actually matter.
Write us a little rating. Give us a little review. 5 stars, 4 stars. Hell,
Why don't they just
3.
answer the fucking question?
Give us
instead
how
of giving
many
you a
stars
fucking
you think we've earned.
Like,
Okay, that's all I'm saying. Just be cool about the stars. Remember, it affects how other people can find us. But if you want other people to listen, if you think this is a worthwhile show, the best thing you can do is burn this episode to a CD-ROM, snail mail it to your friend and write on it, listen on the CD with a Sharpie.
Alternately, next time you're at a political rally, just make a sign that says, look up a star to steer her by.
no, you gotta get the little tear-off tabs so people can take them home and be reminded
Yes.
what the
Go
name
out in
is.
your neighborhood and post flyers.
Graffiti. Just graffiti it all over a bus.
I just have to say that I don't know that I'm on board for trivializing protests with this bullshit.
Trivializing. Look, we take very
We talk
strong
about
political
politics a lot.
stances.
We certainly do. We think politicals is good. We love politicals.
Yeah, sure.
Tickles.
Or next time
Politicals.
you're at a WWE event,
Gucci Gucci goo.
instead of an Austin 316 sign, just,
Oh, if you happen to be outside the GMA studios when there's a big crowd,
Yeah, there we go.
just like put up a sign,
Start
SSAP
steer by.
podcast.
Yeah.
Do what you can. We're counting on you. We come in here every week, folks.
Tweet us to Will Wheaton until maybe he
force
listens
ourselves
and
to
retweets
watch
us.
Star Trek The Next Thing, and we watch it, and then we come here and we talk at you
We don't
for
really
hours.
we forced ourselves
a
to watch
Wikipedia page?
TAS.
That's
was
a good
terrible.
idea.
Either way.
But it was.
We're putting a lot of effort in here, folks. The least you can do. No, I'm not. I'm not putting anything on you guys. We love you.
We're still
We
doing
love
the
you.
wrap-up somehow.
Yes, we are. But yeah, if you want,
Christ,
if
are we
you
done
want,
yet?
if you feel compelled, share us with a friend or a colleague or someone you don't like if you think we're shit. With that, I have been Jake.
This has been Chris.
This has been Ames.
And this is always Caitlin.
Does your laptop actually say Republic of Gamers?
Yes, I did ask them if they had a different version of the case.
It didn't say, I'm an official citizen of the Republic of Gamers. Excelsior!
You should see some of the stupid stickers and bullshit it came with.
Oh, there it is.
But I got it because it has a terabyte hard drive and nothing else did.
Well, I know. I mean, I'm sure it's a great... See, I fucking hate it when companies ruin decent products with shitty,
Gamer.
gamer bullshit. Because,
looks like it should be
'cause first
textured,
of
but
all,
it's not.
Yep.
I built a computer, a desktop,
A data.
Earlier this
for his
year.
own purposes.
Ooh.
and,
But
just
was it
trying to
anatomically
find
correct?
a case
That wasn't childish.
That wasn't fucking stupid.
Yeah.
That didn't have fucking glowing lights in it. I didn't even want a goddamn window. I could not get a decent case, because that's the thing. You
Yeah.
can get the cheapo piece of shit case that doesn't have the good rails, and you're gonna slice your hand open.
Yeah.
But just to get a case that had nice accoutramentation, I would have been spending a lot more money to get the non-stupid case.
Accoutramentation?
Accoutrement.
I was gonna say, don't you just mean accoutrement?
Look, it is the 4th of July. We don't speak French on the 4th of July.
Actually, we probably should, because they kind of helped us out in that whole thing.
Don't talk about real history. That will make Donald Trump sad.
Who gives a fuck? Did
true.
you guys see that Dunkin' Donuts is coming out with something called donut fries?
I heard about this. I didn't see
So
it.
this, in my opinion,
So they're just donuts in long form? Or
yeah,
what?
they look like they're just little skinny,
lady
but they're
fingers.
like
donut
skinny.
sticks.
Yes.
Yeah, but that to me, that's a freedom fry.
Yeah.
There's nothing more fucking American.
Only
than...
if they were filled with cream cheese.
You're
Or
right.
came with cream cheese dipping.
I was really-
How many
I bet it'll
pumps?
come with
Or not
Starbucks.
cream cheese. No, it'd have to be like a.
a sort of a creamy, sugary.
I'm thinking like
cannoli filling or something.
no, not even.
Basically,
It's
it's
Italian.
That fruit dip stuff.
No, just the pure sugar stuff.
Yeah,
used
the
to sell,
glaze.
They used to sell it
Oh,
pretzel maker. It was like.
Oh yeah. I know
Yeah,
what you're
it is.
thinking.
It was the
call
jizz. It's the jizz.
No, hold on. It's called not simple syrup, but it's royal icing is what they call that.
There we go.
Simple
Yeah,
syrup,
like-
simple syrup and royal icing are basically the same.
They both sound like ejaculate.
royal syrup and drizzle
Nah, but
Simple syrup, royal icing.
I bet-
Royal icing just has more sugar to water ratio. That's all.
I bet.
It's literally the same.
I
Otherwise,
bet that's what Harry calls it in the bedroom. Ready with some royal icing, love it.
and she's like, "Put it on my tits, Harry."
Well,
And then as he comes, he's like,
no, as
here comes my Patronus, and she's like, "You're a wizard, Harry."
No.
Oh,
Why
you
does
took that in a
Harry
different
have?
direction.
Why does Harry not look like any other ones?
We've discussed this.
Is he
Jesus
actually?
fucking
Is
Christ.
that been confirmed?
So
Every
no,
goddamn
and actually,
week.
so literally every week. No, allegedly they've actually spoken to the guy that they thought was the father, and he was
Corgi.
like,
Explain the red hair.
I was just gonna say that, and he said like, I mean, yeah, we had an
They're
affair,
dark-colored
but
corgis.
we weren't fucking there then yet. By the time he was conceived.
He's still like the redheaded.
Yeah, but you know what the
stepchild.
thing is like William didn't really look much like Prince Charles
Charlie.
until way more recently. So I'm sure like in 10 years, Harry will look more like Charles, aka ugly.
Charles ain't a looker.
See,
Man, I
the
feel
thing
bad
is-
for Charles though, man, because even
Why?
though he's a
I
piece of
don't.
shit, but regardless, like he's been like the heir apparent for his whole life, and he's like in his 70s or something, right?
yeah,
Like
well,
he's
you know.
old. Poor guy.
By the way, just to clarify though, he can't say anything when he comes because he's drowned out by the royal trumpeter that is required to play whenever a member of the royal family orgasms.
So
Yeah,
wait, so
dude.
do they just know or
No,
like,
they're just in the room with them, just standing with those big long trumpety things.
in one of those Ricola horns?
No, what are those like long? You know.
He just came.
No, that's when Merkel comes.
I don't know what
Charles
Merkel
can't
is.
say
Chancellor
anything
of
when
Germany.
he comes because he's married to Camilla.
Star Trek.
Right.
Star fucking Trek.
All over your face.
That's the royal license.
Stop. And it all comes full circle because Ames is a
does.
fucking rock star. Dear God.